Hello everybody, and welcome to yet another 180 Markets Weekly Wrap. Well friends, we're making progress. And what do I mean by making progress? Well, not only are the markets churning higher, but we're also getting some economic data that we need to see. That's correct. We're seeing inflation numbers come down, and we're also seeing share prices reacting positively when they do put out good results. To be clear, it's not every company, and certainly in particular the retail sector, virtually every company is reporting lower than expected earnings numbers or sales numbers. But again, this is the pain that we need to take to get the overall market higher. And specifically, even this morning, where we are coming in, it's Friday morning, and we can see that the NASDAQ market overseas was down 2%. But when you look through the numbers, the overall market was only down about 0.5%, and because it's mostly weighted towards Netflix. And this is a positive because it means that investors are coming in to a wider distribution of companies, which is certainly positive for us. And now, to talk more about those capital raises themselves, I'll turn it over to Sean.
Thank you, Greg. And many smiles around as the market has been up again. The sun is out. It's rare to have blue sky in Melbourne. And the Baggers are about to win their 5th game in a row. So hopefully a good weekend coming up. All right, placements. There were a few. Let's start off with Altec Batteries, ATC. Okay, so ATC raised $3 million at 7 cents a share. There will be an entitlement offer as well. I think that'll be 1 for 8. And about half of that is being underwritten. I think 4 million is going to be underwritten by the biggest shareholder, Deutsche Balaton. And hopefully, ATC is trading a bit disappointing today, back to issue price. So hopefully it bounces from here. ADD, all right, very interesting raise there. So originally they went out to raise a minimum of $2 million at 2 cents a share with a free option. But what happened was they fell a bit short and they only ended up raising 1.6 million. But the share price went up yesterday and then they took another 800,000. So a bit of a mess there, but anyway, they've got the commitments in, and I'm actually holding a convertible note in that one from a recent raise, so hopefully it keeps going up. BOT, so big raise there done by Euros during the week. They ended up raising $12.5 million at 12 cents a share, so they're holding up pretty well. That was originally priced as a 13% discount to the 5-day VWAP before the raise. The week actually started off with PUR, Pursuit, doing a raise. So they raised $3 million at 1.2 cents a share. I'm not going to mention numbers, but there was an alarming statistic about some investor relations that they have given free shares for. So if you want to go read up on that, you can read the announcement from the 19th of July. And hopefully for PUR, that's worth it because that's a lot of money to be spending. Finally, ASO, so they are still on a halt. They are raising $7 million, or they went out to raise 7. That'll be done at 6 cents a share, so not a big discount. But they will be including a 1 for 2 free 9-cent option. Now, if I was a shareholder in ASO, I would not be happy because the shares traded way higher. I do remember they were at 15 not long ago, but to include a 1 for 2 free 9-cent option, I just feel that's a bit of a gift to new investors. And I've bidden that because those options can be pretty valuable if Mr. Kamova can get things right. Tolga is a big shareholder in that, and I do know directors, and I'm sure he's one of them, is committed to put another $1.2 million into Aston Minerals. All right, pretty interesting week on the markets. There were a lot of movers. Now, I am going to start with downs because there were a lot of downs, and it did spook off investors quite a bit. and they were in shareholder favourites. Now, I'm not going to give myself a pat on the back, but a few weeks ago I did call VSR and WSR saying do not hold the winners from yesterday, hoping that they'll keep rising up, because as we've seen this week, one bit of news that is not as good as the last report can just cause a lot of selling. All right, we'll start with VSR because they had a fall, I think it was on Tuesday. So if we look at that chart, they hit 12 or 13 cents when they had their initial run. On Tuesday, they announced their lithium update. So straight away when a company puts the word update, most times it's not going to be great, especially when the previous announcement, we'll go over here, said thick pegmatites at the surface. So yeah, look, VSR halved in a day, and that's what can happen to these stocks. They make one positive announcement, everyone gets onto it and it goes flying, and people just believe that this is going to be the next big thing. They hold on to it, and most times it's not. There's not many Fortescues out there and companies that go from 1 cent and just continue up 10, 20, 30 baggers. Go the baggers. There's not many baggers out there. So let's just take a quick look at the navy blue. That is a real baggers. Keep going, keep going. Don't need to laugh, Mr. Camera Boy. The blues are coming. All right, WSR. Similar type thing. So they initially did a raise at 2.8 cents. Let's look at the chart. They did. Now let's look. I remember they went over 10 cents, and exactly the same thing as VSR. So this one was on Wednesday. They announced that drilling has confirmed the pegmatites at Olgarox, but it was nowhere near as good as the first announcement. And the shares have fallen so much now. You just got to, I just hope that people learn their lessons for this. It doesn't mean that these runs are definitely over, but you just can't get stuck holding on to these, because most times it's not economical what they find in the ground, and to actually produce that stuff is years and years away. All right, another big fall was SLM. So SLM, very similar looking chart to VSR and WSR. They also have had massive runs. This one's probably held up a bit better than the other two. They announced on, I think it was Monday, about their lithium, and bang, all the way back down. So much selling, and this one has been hyped up so much. There's been many research reports, and a lot of people have been pumping money into it, and it's obviously not living up to initial expectations. ZEV, all right. The Camera Boy has put that up there, and I think that's an error. So, Mr. Camera Boy, you'll need to do 20 push-ups. Is it meant to be ZEV? ZEU. Okay. Gee, it's a bit untidy handwriting there, Mr. Camera Boy. ZEU we did mention that 3 weeks ago. That has fallen quite a bit. It went up 5 times on some news, and the more and more it releases news now. There was also an issue with the director not disclosing his purchases on market, and he actually said that he didn't realize that he had to. So he must be a Collingwood supporter. What the? You have to release your director buying and selling anytime you do anything. So one of the issues with directors trading their stock is you have to tell the market what you're doing. SYR. Now, we did mention Mr. Comova before. This one was the one that made him a lot of money. Let's actually look back 20 years. 20 years. Mr. Camera Boy, I don't know where you were back here, but in 2011, this share was trading at a couple of cents, and they obviously had major success. and they went to $6. I think they actually went quite a bit higher than $6. Let's look. So around here they actually did go. This is a 20-year chart, but they've had some tougher times recently, and if we look at the 30-day chart, they fell quite a lot. They lost almost 30% of their value earlier this week. They did release their results, and obviously it was a lot more bearish than it has been in the past. So yeah, I do know they did a raising earlier this year, so hopefully things improve there. Finally, we'll look at another down POS. So let's look at the chart there, 30-day chart. This on Tuesday, they gave an exploration update, and this one had been a pretty good performer up until recently. If we look at the, no, it hasn't. I need to do more research before I do these. All right, ups. There were a few. Let's just start with Impact, because that's a raise that we helped with recently. We helped raise money at 1.2. So that one has recently purchased the Lake Hope project, and there's not many projects like Lake Hope out there. So Lake Hope is into high purity alumina. We'll look over here. They are completing a pre-feasibility study, and that's why we initially bought into it. So far so good in our investment there. Well done to everyone from Ignite Equity who took that placement. Hopefully the good times continue. Another up was LSR, Lodestar. So they currently trading at 0.9, and look at that chart. They announced some great lithium results at their Kangaroo Hills project. So they've pretty much gone up every day this week. They started the week at down a 0.4, and yeah, it's doing really well. Now, finally, 1CG. So it's a pretty interesting situation here, because they've got 2-cent options that are expiring in a week. So 2 or 3 weeks ago, those options were worthless, but now I'm sure these option holders have got a hard decision to make. Do they exercise or do they not? It's pretty interesting, because 1CGOA is a code of the options. No, it's not. 1CGO. 1CGOA is trading at 0.1, and yeah, so you can actually buy those options at 0.1 when the shares are trading at 2.3. So it's like buying the shares at 2.1, but yeah, I mean, you buy those options and you just got to hope that the share price stays above that 2 cents, because it's had a massive run. So very interesting to see what happens there. All right, that's a wrap. Go the Baggers. Big weekend coming up. Sorry if I talk too much about footy, but yeah, Friday afternoon, that's where we're going. All right, have a good weekend.
Thanks for watching another 180 Markets Weekly Wrap. If you want access to thousands of capital raises, sign up at 180markets.com.au and you'll get access to our very next capital raise. Thanks for watching.